Alright gang, welcome back to another video. It's been a while. I haven't made an update on here in a bit, so I figure let's do everything at once, because that always seems to go well. Before we get started, if you like this kind of content and you want to follow my journey of selling options, or at least trying to make some extra income, hit that subscribe button, that way you don't miss any videos in the future. I recently started a TikTok as well, which is kind of funny because someone commented on one of my videos on here under pressure, and you can see my name is not that. So somehow they found me on here before I even told anyone. So that's really cool. I thought that was funny. So if you want to get some short form content of mine, check that out. I really just made it to promote my web app. And yes, a lot has happened in the past week. For starters, SoFi is sitting above $21. So it went way higher, way faster than I could have ever imagined, especially SoFi has been performing the last 3 years or 4 years that I've owned it, however long it's been now. This kind of throws a wrench into some of the covered calls that I sold, but rest assured, I ended up just rolling a lot of my covered calls, and I'll continue to do so because SoFi is one of the stocks that, at least how my mindset is now, I'm okay with just continuing to roll, even if it's not that much for a long period of time that I'm getting in a credit. Because in the end, I don't want to sell these shares at least anytime soon. And we're going to get into how much I made this week selling options, but a quick foreshadowing into that is something like this short call roll where I rolled some call options on SoFi that I previously sold, and I made an additional $605. So there was a lot of rolling going on last week with stocks like Robinhood and SoFi continuing to go up. And so because of that, I ended up making a lot more than usual in premium. So if we hop over to my web app, and you can actually go ahead and use this yourself if you sell options on Robinhood and want to know how much you're actually making from selling options. Because before, I would manually track, and if you've watched this channel in the past, I would manually track all of my trades in a spreadsheet, and that just became so difficult to do when I was making so many trades. So I created this to read a Robinhood statement and just tell me instantly how much I'm making from selling options. And I added some stuff since the last video. Some people that were trading and selling spreads told me it wasn't calculating it correctly, which I don't sell spreads, but those of you that do, you can check this box right here when you go to upload your file, and it should calculate those correctly now. But if we scroll down to how much I made this week selling options, almost $3,000. And this is a complete anomaly because, like I said, I ended up rolling so many options. That's why this number is so large. And you can see down below the most is from SoFi, and then right behind it is Robinhood. Something also I added is if you ever, for any reason, want to delete a particular trade from your summary here, you can go ahead and do so now down below, and it'll refresh all of your summary stats depending on what you deleted. And then something else I also want to show that I added was this option selling calculator. And you can use this to determine, before you make a trade, how much am I making on this trade? What's the ROI compared to the money I have to use to make this trade? But before we look into that and look at a trade live, if you've gotten this far and you want to learn more about selling options, you're new, you don't know where to begin, I do have a course. I'll link it down below. It helps out the channel, and you can learn something that you may decide to do for yourself down the road to make some extra income on your own. So go check that out if you're interested. Let's hop over to my favorite stock, SoFi, and let's look at selling a put. And we're going to look at a particular trade. Not quite sure why all the data doesn't appear to load, but we'll look at a particular trade and see how much we're making from this one trade using my new calculator. So SoFi is sitting at $21.37. And mathematically, the chance of a $20 strike put that's expiring this Friday, expiring completely worthless, is about 80%. So let's say we want to sell this $20 put on SoFi. So we'll go back to my calculator. We have the option type set as put. The expiration date we're going to mark it as this coming Friday. The expected premium is 21 cents, and this is per share, so that's why I'm not putting $21. And the strike price is 20. And we'll hit calculate here. And we can see the total premium gained, as we know, is the 21 cents times 100, so it's $21. The ROI, so if I have to set aside $2,000, and I get 21 in return, the ROI is a 1.05%. And if we were to do this every single week for the whole entire year, the annualized ROI is about 76, 77%. Of course, that's like a perfect scenario. I would never expect, if I did this every week, for this to be the true outcome. And then it also tells you, in case you don't know, the days until expiration. And you can also do the same if you're thinking about selling a covered call. So you can fill in the same information. The only difference here is your cost basis for those 100 shares. So it can also calculate, if it gets assigned, how much you also make from capital appreciation. So for instance, if I'm also selling a call on SoFi that expires this Friday, and we sell this $23 call, which I've sold 2 of them. So the strike is 23. The expected premium is 18 cents per share. And then my cost basis is about $13 for a share of SoFi. So if we calculate that, we can see just the premium gain is $18. But if it gets assigned as well with the capital appreciation, I'd actually make $1,018 total. And then you can see just from the premium itself, this is the ROI, this is the annualized ROI, and that also gives you the share appreciation if it becomes assigned. So I thought this was pretty cool for those of you that are looking at different trades and you just want to see what's the return on investment for each one of these trades, and then you can make a more educated trade based off of these numbers. So that's how much I made last week. Those are some additions I made to selloptions.net. Like I said, feel free to go check it out for yourself. Give me some feedback if you run into anything, or if you think something's cool or something could be a little bit different. I'm always open to suggestions. I love hearing from you guys using it, and I hope to see you guys in a future video. Take care.